Hello, Nikhil. So, today we will start with the fourth chapter and we will do a series of chapters now called under the unit of human physiology. You should know that human physiology alone consists of 20 to 30% of the NEET questionnaires. So you should learn this very well so that you can score good marks. Okay. So in human physiology, we have our first chapter called breathing and exchange of gases. Okay. Breathing and exchange of gases. So what is breathing and exchange of gases? This chapter deals with how and how we take oxygen up, which organs actually function for taking up oxygen, which organs play a role in transport of oxygen, and which organs just help in respiration. This total, see, we know that oxygen is utilized by the organism to indirectly break down simple molecules like glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, etc. Okay, so from breaking these, we can get energy, we can get fuels for doing works, okay, for performing works. Now, see, what is that? That taking oxygen and taking oxygen from the air and releasing the produced carbon dioxide in our body from our body to the air is called breathing. So oxygen will be taken inside, O2 inside, in CO2 out. Okay, so this is it. Oxygen in and carbon dioxide out. It is called breathing. Okay, this breathing is also known as respiration. Okay, if you press your hands on your chest, you will feel breathing. Okay, so now we will discuss what are the respiratory organs, because without the respiratory organs we cannot breathe. Every organism has to breathe. Okay, so every organism has their own mechanisms. Lower invertebrates like sponges, coelacanths, flatworms, which we will discuss later in the animal kingdom part, they exchange oxygen with carbon dioxide by simple diffusion over their entire body surface. Their body takes up oxygen, their body releases carbon dioxide. Okay? Nothing. They don't have any nose, they don't have lungs, nothing. Okay? Earthworm, the type of worms, they actually use their moist cuticle. This is their organ. Okay? Moist cuticle. So what are the organ? Moist cuticle. And insects have network of tubes called tracheal tubes. Okay, you have to learn this bracket up. So moist cuticle is used by sponges, coelacanths, flatworms uses their what? Tell me. Body. Simple diffusion. Now earthworms. Flatworms use simple diffusion. Earthworms use moist cuticle. And the insects use tracheal tubes to exchange gases. Okay, special vascularized structure called gills are present in gills are branchial respiration. Actually, they are in aquatic arthropods and mollusks, whereas vascularized bags called lungs are used by terrestrial forms. Gills you can see in aqueous arthropods, mollusks, and also fishes. They have missed the fish part. You have to learn fish also. add fish. Okay, fish uses gills. Okay, so fishes use gills. You have to write this down. Okay, so fishes use gills to use up the total thing. Okay, see, something you don't understand, you have to rewind the video and read it how many times you need. Okay, the next class will be on Thursday, so there is no problem. And on Thursday, I won't discuss this, I will discuss the exam questions. Got it? The terrestrial form uses lungs. Now, our most important topic is lungs in this chapter because we use lungs, nothing else. We use lungs. Among vertebrate species use gills. Here they have written. Whereas amphibian, reptiles, and birds and mammals respire through lungs. Amphibian like frog can respire through their moist skin also, which we discussed in the frog part that they respire through their skin also when they are in water. Okay, so what we get? Coelenterate flatworms, sponges use skin. Earthworm use moist cuticles. Insects use tracheal tubes. Uh, Aquatic arthropods, mollusks use gills, and and the rest of them uses lungs. Frogs can use their skin also. Fishes also use gills. Okay, you have to take notes of these in the class. I know they are in the book, but you have to take notes. I will check the notes and I will ask you that if you have made the notes. Okay, be confident you have to make them. So let us now discuss what is the human respiratory system all about. So first we have you learn it from your own body. First we have two nostrils, right? Above the upper lips we have two nostrils. These are the two nostrils. This leads to a nasal chamber through the nasal passage. Okay, this is the nasal passage which is going up. From here it will go down like this. From here it will go down. Okay, so it will go down, and that opens up in pharynx. Okay, it is a portion. Pharynx is a portion of which is the common passage of food and air. Pharynx is pharynx. Sorry, voice has been very bad. Pharynx is common passage for food and air. Okay. Pharynx is a common passage of food and air. It passes food as well as air. The pharynx opens through the larynx region into the trachea. Okay. See, this is the larynx region and this is the trachea. Trachea is the pipe which leads to nothing else but to the lungs. Okay, this is a tube. You can say this is a tube. Larynx is a cartilaginous box. This is made up of cartilage. Okay, which helps in sound production. Hence, it is termed as sound box. So, what is the sound box? Larynx Sound box. Okay, sound box is larynx. I am rubbing this up. I hope you have written. So larynx is the sound box. Okay. During swallowing the food, there is something called glottis. Okay. So glottis can be covered by a thin elastic cartilaginous flap called epiglottis. Okay. During see, pharynx was the common opening for food and air. So now what is happening? Something is we are eating something. Okay. Now when we are eating, the nasal passage has to be blocked because the food needs to go. So there is something called epiglottis. Yeah, glottis is the opening. Okay. Epiglottis is the covering. Whenever we are breathing, the epiglottis cover the food pipe. Whenever we are eating, the epiglottis cover the air pipe. Okay. So that one time, one thing go. Okay. To prevent the entry of food into the larynx. If the food enters into the larynx, what happens? We cough. Nothing else. We cough out. What is trachea? Trachea is a straight tube extending up to the mid thoracic cavity. This is a scientific term. This is the cavity in our body. Okay, a portion where the trachea is located, which divides the level of fifth thoracic vertebra. This till this part, till here, the larynx is located. Okay? Till here, sorry, the trachea is still here. Okay, into right and left primary bronchi. The trachea comes like this and then divide like this. Okay, in the fifth thoracic vertebra, they divide like this. This is the right and this is the left. Correct? Each bronchi undergoes repeated divisions to form the secondary and tertiary bronchi and bronchioles, ending up in very thin terminal bronchioles. So these go and form primary and secondary bronchioles. Okay, these are kind of branches, nothing else. This going, this can go further like this, and finally very thin terminal. Okay, terminal bronchioles, nothing else. This is kind of branches. You can take not from the tree that you can see that tree branches are firstly very fat, then it goes narrower, and finally they have a very thin kind of branch which contains the leaves, right? That is it. The tracheae, primary and secondary tertiary bronchi and initial bronchioles are supported by incomplete cartilaginous rings. These are cartilaginous rings, okay? Where my cursor is. This is cartilaginous rings. Each terminal bronchiole gives rise to a number of very thin, irregular walled vascular bag-like structures. The terminal bronchioles, see, these are very thin, okay? Terminal bronchioles lead to this kind of bag-like structures, okay? These bag-like structures are called alveoli. What? Alveoli. Correct? This is not R, this is V and E, okay? Alveoli. Here it is. The branching network of bronchioles and alveoli comprise the lungs. We have two lungs that you already know, which are covered by a double layered pleura which has pleural fluid between them. Okay, so lung is like this. Okay, this is the lung. It has a double layer pleura. This is a thin, very thin layer. Okay, this is the pleura. Inside the pleura, there is a fluid. Okay, this is the pleura, and inside pleura there is a fluid called pleural fluid. Okay, got it? Yeah. So it what is the function of the pleural fluid? See, if something is having fluid, the main function always will be to reduce friction. Okay, because if there is friction, there will be damage. So if there is no friction, there will be no damage. That's why the pleural fluid is there. The outer pleural membrane is in close contact with the thoracic lining, whereas the inner pleural membrane is in close contact with lung surface. Okay, inner membrane towards the lung surface, outer membrane towards the outside. That's it. That is the thing. If this line explains the part starting with the external nostrils up to the terminal bronchioles. Terminal bronchioles. From external nostril to the terminal bronchioles constitute the conducting part, whereas the alveoli and other ducts, that is the other ducts, they form the respiratory or exchange part. One is conducting part and one is exchange part. What is the conducting part uh, function? They take up oxygen, they conduct it. Okay, and what is the exchange part? They take the oxygen and in exchange they give carbon dioxide. Got it? The conducting part transport the atmospheric air to the alveoli that I discussed just. You will read this. See, respiration involves the following steps. I'm not going to read this line by line. This is very easy. Okay, you just have to remember where the lung is located from here. Remember. Okay, I hope you will remember this. This is the part where lung is located. Okay, so first, respiration involves the following steps. First is breathing. That means taking out the air from the atmosphere. Okay, it is drawn in, carbon dioxide alveolar layer is released out. Diffusion of gases takes place across the alveolar membrane. Transport of gases by the blood. Diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide between blood and tissues. Utilization of oxygen by the cells for catabolic reactions and results in release of carbon dioxide. Okay. Okay. So today's class we will discuss till this. From the next class we will begin mechanism of breathing. We are running fast, so no worries. We will finish the syllabus in time. Just have faith and have focus. So we will just revise it again. So first, what we read that every organism has their own organs, like sponges, cylindrical flatworms uses their skin or the entire body. Okay, earthworm uses moist cuticle. Now, aquatic life like arthropod, mollusk, fishes uses gills, and others use lungs. Okay, frogs can use their skin also. That you remember. Now, what we read? We read about the total human respiratory system. First is nostrils from their larynx, then pharynx, sorry, from nostrils to pharynx that leads to larynx, and then trachea, then to the trachea divides into tracheoles and then tracheae and then goes to bronchioles and then to alveoli. At alveoli, the exchange of gases take place. All right. So today we have discussed this, And then we have discussed how respiration is taking place. First, it is taking gases, then diffusion of gases is taking place, transport of gases by blood is taking place. Whenever we are taking oxygen, it is just mixing with the blood, and the hemoglobin carrying RBCs carry the oxygens, okay, to the organs. And then diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the blood and tissues, like tissues carry to the organ, and then the organ exchange it oxygen, exchange the take the oxygen up and give the carbon dioxide to the blood, okay. And finally the carbon dioxide generated blood goes to the lungs, and the carbon dioxide goes outside, okay. Till this we have covered. Study well, revise it well, and then come to the next class. We will cover it as soon as possible. And if we can cover the human physiology in 3 months, that's enough. Okay, that's enough because this contains 30 to 20 to 30% of the syllabus of NEET, which is a huge portion. If you can guarantee you will score those 20 to 30% marks in without failure, your chances of selection will be much higher. Okay, so best of luck, study well, and go for the next class. Okay, so we are ending the class. So bye.